Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on ResortLoop.com, your gateway to the magic. Today, a very special podcast. Bob Collar, who has not escaped from security land.
Yikes.
It's like he's walking the Green Mile. I'm not sure what he's doing. But again, I'm joined by my lovely wife.
Hello.
Mrs. Resort Loop Tim.
Yep.
Don't search for her on Twitter on that one. Unless you'll get it. I don't know.
No, I'm not as tech savvy.
Oh, that's nothing. If you can Facebook, you can do this. On today's episode, we're going to continue with our Disney cruise theme. Today, it's cruises and cast members.
Absolutely.
How cast members can make or break your Disney cruise.
Absolutely.
Now, for the most part, we've had very pleasant, very positive experiences with the cast members.
Yes, we have.
And we've also had a couple, not so much, but
clinkers.
a couple that, as they would say in the business, need retraining.
Yes.
They need to re-magicify.
Something.
I don't even know. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with...
Let's start with the servers in the dining room.
Oh, excellent. I love it.
Let's start with our Alaska servers.
Alaska servers on a scale of 1 to 10.
The servers that we had were so far beyond a 10, I can't even go there.
I know.
They were amazing, the head server and the assistant server. But let's talk about what their jobs are. So talk about what the server's job is.
Oh, excellent. So the head server...
The head server is over several dining room tables, making sure that the server and the assistant server are doing a good job.
Yes, making sure everybody's happy, everyone's getting their drinks and food at the correct timing. Mm-hmm. Very important part with the dinner service.
Kind of walks around in a white jacket and just, you see him every once in a while and...
They'll pop in.
Just to say hello and see if everything's okay. And the head server that we had did a nice job.
He wasn't intrusive, just we saw him once in a while. And...
Mm-hmm. Did a nice job.
But the ones you have your most contact with...
are your server and assistant server.
Yes, and they, in our opinion, I think both of our opinions, can make or break your vacation.
Absolutely. Now, our server and assistant server, sometimes they're just referred to as the serving team.
Yes.
They were just beyond amazing from the very first day in Alaska. I don't know that we can say enough wonderful things about them.
Right.
They made us feel very welcome and took care of our needs. They're very, very quick to learn your name.
I don't know how they do that. I meet people, and a minute later, I can't remember what their name was.
They do. They know your name. They know what your drink preference is, and they make sure that a lot of times as soon as you show up, they don't even ask. They just bring the drink that you generally like.
It's there waiting for you.
There's there. And I get migraines from artificial sweeteners, so I avoid that at all costs. And I did tell this to the assistant server, who's generally the one who brings the drinks. And bless his heart, he made sure that he poured my Coke himself every single time rather than just getting it from the line to make sure that it was Coke and not mixed up with Diet Coke.
Right. Because my wife needs to be properly caffeinated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm loving my caffeine. So,
but she doesn't go coffee, so Coke's the only way it's,
That's
consumed.
right. Absolutely. But, he made sure that every single time that it was Coke. And then I wasn't very nice the very last time. I'm like, this is diet. I thought the poor guy was going to drop dead on the spot. His face looked like, I had to quickly go, no, I'm just kidding. It's Coke. I'm kidding. So he was mortified. He really thought he had messed up, and I felt really bad. I was just joking with him.
Just trying to tease him a little bit, and he went into this. He's thinking the pipes must have got switched on him.
He was having a panic attack about that. Poor guy. But he was so good. He was just fantastic. And then our server was just above and beyond. At that time, we did have a teenage boy and a cat who did not go with us.
Oh, you can hear.
She didn't go with us to Alaska, but our teenage son could eat 2 entrees and did most evenings.
Yes.
And we probably should note that we cruised with friends of ours,
of course, yes.
who had a little daughter who was 4 at the time, and our son challenged our friend Lenny to a buffalo eating contest to see who would eat buffalo the night that they had it served, and they both had it and loved it.
Yes, they did.
But if you want to order 2 entrees, they will bring you 2 entrees, 2 appetizers, anything that you want, as much as you would, care to eat, they'll bring it to you.
Absolutely.
You want to try all the desserts, tell them, bring them all out, and they'll bring them out to you.
That's right.
So, unfortunately, we did see a lot of waste
There was
way.
some. I think some people are a little more adventurous than they would like to be.
Yeah. That bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
If you get something and you truly don't care for it and want to send it back, then that's one thing. But if you're ordering full entrees just to sample different things, I think sometimes...
Yeah. Because I'm sure they could bring out a little
thing.
sample of something if you want a little
But
sample.
they don't. They don't even offer that.
Really?
No,
Oh.
they don't. It's if you want it, they just bring the full entree.
It's probably just easier for them to grab the plate than...
I think so.
Wow.
But our serving team, they referred to as the little 4-year-old as the angel, and Mackenzie was the princess.
Yes.
And so that's how they referred to the girls. How are you, princess? Oh, there's our little angel. And they were so excited to see us. And I understand that, their salary comes from our tips. And so in essence, they're being paid to be nice to us.
Right.
But
That's what we want.
yeah, but I think these two truly enjoyed their jobs. They truly enjoyed making guests happy. I don't think they could have put on that much of a show
Right.
for how excited and enthusiastic they were to have us there in the dining room.
Because you would catch an eye roll or you get a vibe at some point. But
Yeah,
it was
we
just
never
constant.
did.
They were very happy to be serving us.
Yes, what can we bring you? What can we do for you? The night that they had caviar as the appetizer, our teen, who is an adventuresome eater, just loved the caviar.
Yes.
And so he ate it and just thought that was just magnificent. Well, and so our friend Lenny as well had the caviar and just loved it. Well, then the next night, our son had made a comment about how much he loved the caviar and how disappointed he was that it wasn't on the appetizer menu again. And our server went and got him this massive cereal bowl full
Yeah.
of caviar.
Yeah.
I'm looking thinking, oh my gosh, it's got to be $500 worth of caviar in that bowl, if not more. And our son ate most of it. And when he decided he was full and couldn't eat any more, I think Lenny kept eyeing it like, is he really going to eat the whole thing?
Oh, right.
And finally, Stephen was done. So he passed the rest of it to Lenny, who was more than happy to finish it for him. But it's the little touches that they do, such as bringing you the drink, that you ordered before you even have to order it.
Yep.
Because they know what you like, knowing your name. Doing little magic tricks for the kids and interacting with them, making sure that they're happy.
Cutting their food for them.
Oh, yeah. So, our daughter ordered a steak and we never even had to cut it up for her, although she's pretty capable of cutting it herself. She was having a little trouble, and I think it was the assistant server who noticed right away that she was having a little trouble cutting the steak and came right over and cut the whole rest of the steak for her. And I thought that was just a really nice touch of things that they do.
Because I think, don't they even comment that, it's your vacation also?
Absolutely.
So
they want the parents to feel like they're on vacation, and they really do a good job of taking care of the kids. So our servers there were just amazing. We should probably comment another thing that Disney offers. If you have second dinner seating, which is what we like to have.
I was just going to mention we should go to our seating time.
Yeah, we like the second seating. We don't feel as rushed from our port days. If you have a port adventure that doesn't get back till 4 or 4:30, if you have the early seating, it's pretty rushed to get your shower and get going and get to dinner on time. So we sometimes like to take a nap after our port days, and you have that time to do that. And if you're a little hungry, there's room service. Shout out to their tomato basil soup. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. And their bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, phenomenal.
Who would know?
Well, I don't know who needs 2 inches of bacon on a sandwich, but that's what they put.
Everything's better with more bacon.
I guess so. It was really, really good. But they have nice cheese plates.
I was going to say the fruit and cheese plate was really good.
Yeah. So, if you're wanting a little appetizer at that time, you can do that. And then, of course, you go to the show first, and then you go to dinner after the shows if you choose to do so. But another nice thing that Disney offers is they will bring the younger children's dinners early and have them eat, right away. So they're not waiting around, because dinner is usually an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. It's very, very leisurely, which we enjoy very much on vacation.
Yes.
But children don't often enjoy that. So they bring out their meals first, and then at 9 o'clock, a counselor from Oceaneers Club comes down, and they stand at the doorway of the dining room, and any child who is registered in Oceaneers Club who would like to go, they will escort them up to the club.
fantastic for parents with younger kids.
It is wonderful. So you don't have to leave dinner to take your child to the club.
And the kids don't want to sit there after they've eaten. They're ready to get back
Nope.
with their friends.
They are, and they go. And so that was a really nice perk
Yes.
that Disney offers, and we thought that was really special. All right, so we had the servers on the Wonder in our Alaska cruise. Let's jump to the servers on our Magic cruise.
Let's go to the other coast.
And the other opposite end of the spectrum.
Now, this cruise, our servers were, I will say they were adequate. Kind
For the
of.
most part.
I mean,
Most days.
the food kind of came, and
You
Good.
might get what you ordered. You might not.
You might not
It was
get
a toss-up. It was a nice surprise every evening.
yes. But I remember having to seek them out for a beverage refill or for the right drinks.
Yes.
I don't think they ever picked up that you were a Coke person.
Never. Mm-mm. And there were nights when I didn't get a Coke at all. I had to go up to the beverage station by the
Yeah.
pool deck to get my Coke after dinner.
Because you just didn't want to beg, please, sir, may I have a Coke?
It was. You almost felt like you were begging. And there were nights when they would take your order for an appetizer, and half the table's appetizers would come out, and the other half never got their appetizers. I think that happened twice.
Right.
And you were just kind of like, okay. And then the next thing you know, your entree appears, and you're like, well, okay, I missed my appetizer, but whatever. And they didn't seem to really care.
No. What they did care about,
Oh,
and this got on our nerves
quickly.
very quickly. It's like, I thought it was very odd to come out the first night with this. They were talking about the end of cruise surveys that everybody takes. Mm-hmm. They wanted to be sure that they got the top rating on the survey.
Yes, rate us excellent.
Yes, please, write us excellent. If we're not doing an excellent job, tell us right away.
Because
And
we
we'll-
want to have an excellent rating.
Right. And we weren't told this just at the end of the cruise. It was at the beginning. It was at the middle.
And it was
again at the middle.
multiple times during dinner. They would
Yes.
interrupt us to say, is everything excellent? We want to be excellent. Make sure you mark us excellent.
And at the same time, she's asking for a Coke that never appears.
Exactly. And I would say that. They were very sweet people. It wasn't like they weren't nice.
Right, they weren't being
certainly
rude.
No, they weren't rude at all. And I would say to her, I understand you want to be excellent, but I haven't received my appetizer. And she would just say, oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am, but we give excellent service. Well, not so much.
We'd love to say you do.
But we need to show us that you are excellent. So we've already pre-decided on our next cruise that if we encounter a serving team like that,
Yes, right away.
that we will say, you know what, as of right now, to us, you are not excellent. I don't want to hear one more word about being excellent. Just show us that you're excellent, and
That's
we'll be
right.
happy to give you an excellent rating.
If you are excellent, you're going to get the rating of excellent.
But show us that you're excellent. Because I guess Disney doesn't respond to anything other than excellent rating. If they even get one rating down, I think it's not a good thing for them. Disney takes the customer comment cards very seriously,
That's what they've said. Yes.
which is fine.
Right.
And I understand there's people out there that say, wow, they work really hard for their money and it's a stressful job. And it is.
Oh, absolutely.
But at the same time, I maybe wish people ahead of us had written that this serving team needed some extra attention, extra help, because then maybe we would have gotten excellent service.
Right, because everyone's paying the same price for the food.
Right.
Everyone should have the same experience.
Exactly. On Pirate Night, they were very, very lackluster. There
Yes.
wasn't very much excitement because we still had a Pirate Night in Alaska, even though we didn't have the fireworks.
Right. Yes.
And our serving team was just hilarious, and we had a wonderful time.
Oh, it was awesome.
So, yeah, the serving team that we had on the Magic was just not good.
Now, I don't know. I speculated it was about the time the Dream was going to come online,
Fantasy.
or the Fantasy, and maybe they were just stretched thin and trying to train people up. But, I mean, this is such basic stuff. You would think they would have this down. I mean,
Yeah.
drinks, bring out the food that people order. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And if they ran out of food, if my appetizer was no longer available, then come and say, I'm sorry that appetizer is no longer available. Can I get you something else?
Right.
But it was nothing. It was just like, whoops, we didn't get it. Oh, well, here's your entree. Nothing was ever said about it. So, and we didn't really see the head server to even say anything
No.
like, hey, the service here is really,
Not where it should be.
yeah, the level is not where it should be. But, nothing against them. They were very nice people. I think they truly tried to please us.
They did.
I did not mark anything on the comment card as far as like what their rating was. I just left a little comment that, maybe they needed a little extra attention from the head server to make sure the service was appropriate. But I didn't mark anything else because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No.
And I'm sure that's other people why they don't mark things. So that's the dining team.
Yes.
So the other person that you have to deal with quite frequently is your stateroom host.
Yes.
And on the Magic, that person was our stellar person.
Oh, right.
She was fantastic. Like I said in a previous podcast, she had offered when I was so seasick to get me some crackers or get me some ginger ale and gave me some tips on how to feel better. And
I don't think we mentioned that was she seasick herself?
She was seasick herself. I felt so bad for her because even though she didn't feel well, she still had to go about and do her work. And, get our room ready. And I said, just, pull the bunk down. And I said, we'll take care of everything else. Just, go get yourself done. And she was like, oh, no, ma'am. I mean, she was making sure that room was spot on perfect. And, she was so sweet and wonderful. And anytime she saw us in the hallway, she greeted us, said hello, asked if we needed anything. We asked for a bucket of ice, could we please have that every morning?
Yep.
And it was I think she brought it actually morning and evening when she saw it.
Yes.
And we didn't ask it for the evening, but she knew we liked to have that bucket of ice there, and she made sure we had it. We asked for a few extra towels to keep in our room, and I only had to ask her that first night, and every other night after that, the towels were there. Yeah, she really went above and beyond and made sure that she did a nice job, and our room was clean, and she was very, very good.
She was very good. Towel animals, we had the towel animals.
Oh, that was always fun. Yes, she made sweet towel animals, and so I still think our favorite's the monkey.
Oh, the
He's
monkey.
Fun. Yeah, he's a good one.
Who doesn't love a monkey?
Yeah. And then in Alaska, we had not really the opposite of what we had. He was a little
Shy almost?
Yeah, he was. It was very almost painful for him to have to say hello.
Hello, I think I know you.
So he was a little shy. I had to leave him a note every day for the extra towels. I finally picked up on that. I should just leave him a note, and he would, as long as I left the note. He put him out. He didn't pick up, but he brought us ice every night. Like we only asked that one time. We said we just like ice every night, please, and he made sure that it was there. And our room was clean, but he was not as personable as the girl we had in on the Magic. But he was very nice. Certainly earned his money for sure. Mm-hmm. We should note that the cast members are only paid in tips, that they do not receive a salary from Disney.
Oh,
right. The tips are their wage, and you can argue that back and forth whether that's fair, not fair.
But it's the way it is.
It is the way it is, and so we've heard people say, well, I tip this. They give you a suggested amount to tip your stateroom host, your dining team. And I've heard people say, well, I'm not going to tip as much because I have a baby and the baby isn't eating any food that the server's bringing. It's eating baby food that I've brought on board. And so I'm not going to tip for my baby. And sometimes I think babies end up being more work because there's a mess under that high chair that has to be cleaned up afterwards. So whatever, because it's not a tipped amount according to age. It's a tipped amount according to person, regardless of the age. And I really, truly believe that they deserve every cent they make. Because even though we had a crummy service team on the Magic, we still tipped the recommended amount.
Right.
And I think that's the first time ever in our lives we've only tipped the recommended amount.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it was.
We usually have such stellar service, not just on Disney, but other cruise lines we've cruised, that we tip above.
Because we actually want to tip more.
Absolutely, you do.
Because it was very valuable.
Yes, they make you so thankful that, they're the ones serving you because they're doing such a fantastic job. But even regardless of whether you kind of got crummy service or not, it's still, that's their wage for the week.
Right.
And they do, I feel, deserve that. We did eat, we didn't eat or did not eat. Well, sometimes we didn't get a course or two, but I don't think we walked. I think that's the only cruise I came home and I was down 2 pounds on the Magic between the seasickness and not getting all my food.
Yeah, that was an interesting
So maybe
cruise.
we should have tipped them more for that. I don't know. But tipping, when you go on a cruise, make sure that you definitely budget money not only for the correct tipping amount, but you do budget more for a little bit extra because you will want to give them more because they go above and beyond. We've, like I said, met very few that don't go above and beyond to make you happy.
Right. And build in some cash in singles to tip your room service.
Yes.
Stewards.
Yes. The room service people You should definitely tip them, although room service is included in your cruise, with the exception of a few items like alcoholic beverages.
Oh, right.
I think if you get a can of soda, that's a charge.
Yes.
But for the most part, room service is free, but definitely
A
tip
couple
the guy
bucks.
bringing, yeah, for sure.
And you can. It's not on the menu, but what can you get that is not actually on the room service menu?
You can get Mickey bars.
Yes.
We found that out not on our Alaska cruise, but on our Magic cruise. And so we had Mickey bars more than one night at
They were
midnight.
very good. And I think we asked for 2, and I think they brought 4, or they brought 3.
Oh, yeah. They did. They bring extras. But you have to eat them because there's no place to store them. So.
That's right. And there's no calories on the Disney ship, which
That's
is
right.
very strange.
Mickey bars are calorie free.
I think the first one was already open. It was like drizzled with chocolate and like little Mickey heads or something.
Yes, they did.
They blinged it up a little bit for us.
Yeah,
So that was really good.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's good. What other cast members do you encounter?
We've had Mackenzie's hair braided.
We did, and that was a lot of fun. We had that done on the ship. With you have to sign up for a time, and then you come back, and you still wait for quite a while.
Right.
They weren't quite running on time, but that's all right. You're on vacation. Relax and enjoy. I tend not to get too terribly stressed out about things. And the 2 girls that did it, they were very, very nice. They were working as a team, and they were up by the pool deck, and she had not a full head, I think it was a half, because she had it braided from the front, to the crown of her head. She looked really, really cute with those little braids in her hair.
Oh, she looked adorable.
Yeah. So that's also another cast member that when you're done, even though you pay per braid, you would also definitely want to tip that cast member for their time to do that. But one position that is definitely not a tipped position, and they are not permitted to accept tips, are the counselors, the youth counselors.
Yes.
Which kind of shocked me, because you think you would really want to thank and honor the people who are taking care of your children all week. But they are not permitted. And anything that you do give them, whether it's a bag of candy or a prepaid calling card to somewhere, they have to turn all of those in.
Huh.
And they're pooled together. It's put together for their parties.
Okay.
Their parties together. So they do, I guess, in essence, enjoy a tip. But we just didn't bring anything tip-wise for them, because we had heard they're just really not supposed to accept that stuff. And anything that they do have has to be turned in. So we didn't want that uncomfortable feeling like, can they take it, not take it? Are they going to reject us? So we just kind of let that go. But they are salaried then through Disney.
Yes.
So they do get a salary.
And I will say, as far as tipping goes, I'm sure it's this way with the alcoholic beverages from the bars. And I know at the Cove Cafe, if you buy something and just sign for it, it already has the tip built in.
Yes.
Just a little tip for you, so you don't have to, either add anything or, give them some cash or anything. It's already built in there.
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of if you're on the ships.
Other cast members that you may encounter would be the people who work at guest services. And on our Magic cruise, unfortunately, we needed to meet up with them twice. Once because someone accidentally or accidentally on purpose, we don't know, walked off with our daughter's Crocs at the pool. So she was quite upset about that. Fortunately, I had just purchased the same exact pair, and we're almost the same size, so she was able to overtake my pair and go on with her day. But we went to guest services multiple times asking, did a pair of Crocs get turned in? And they had not gotten turned in.
No, they just disappeared magically.
They did, which was a shame, because they were sitting next to her friend's shoes, they were still there after the swim was over, and Mackenzie's were not. So we think someone probably walked off. But I guess if someone needs them worse than we do, then have at it.
Yeah.
We'll make do. So we went to guest services for that, and they're very nice. And you fill out a form that says, what you're missing and the description of the item. And we did check a couple times to see if they had been turned in, and unfortunately, they never were turned in. So they were lost at sea, I guess. And then the second thing we had to go to guest services for was the very first day at sea. They were doing some routine maintenance around the ship, which included varnishing of some rails.
That was potent.
And on deck 2, we had an ocean view, so you could not open the window or step out onto a veranda. And the smell gave me an instant migraine.
Ugh.
It was horrible. So we just kind of tried to go with it for a little bit, but it just got worse and worse.
I mean, it was bothering me, and I don't get migraines.
Yeah, it was bad. So we went to guest services and just asked, could they please not varnish? Well, that wasn't good enough for Disney. They stopped the varnishing, but then they brought in this air purifier
this
into
HEPA
our
air
room.
filter purifier, yes,
to our room, and that took care of the smell relatively quickly.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, yeah.
So, and the next day we asked for it to be removed. Well, you can keep it the whole time. You don't have to. But it was very, very large. And the staterooms, while they're bigger than the standard for the industry, they're still not that big.
Right.
So they did come and remove it. And they never did continue varnishing for the rest of the cruise, which was very, very nice.
Yes.
So, and I understand they have to have that routine maintenance. But boy, oh boy, that was strong stuff.
That was some nasty, nasty stuff.
Yeah, but guest services, they were so nice, and they took care of the problem. I mean, immediately. I mean, they were, very, very nice about it. Ask, can we get you anything? Do you need some Tylenol? Do you need anything? And I said, no, I have, my own stuff for that, but thank you. But they were really, really nice. So, what about the cruise director? We didn't really have very much interaction with either of the cruise directors.
No,
we just the stuff that they did, we just really didn't do that kind of stuff.
No, we stopped by trivia. We did bingo. No,
we did bingo one time.
That was fun, but we did it once. We were kind of
one and done with bingo. That's for us. That was all right.
Yeah.
But you walk down the hallway, you walk anywhere, and you pass a cast member. Boy, that cast member. Hello, how's your day? How are you doing?
Yes.
Are you having fun? They're interested. Making sure all their guests have a really good time. And I think for the most part, most of the CMs are genuinely happy to be there. And they want to make sure that you are having a good time. And if you're not, then what can they do to make you have a better time or correct whatever problem that you are having?
Right. Absolutely. And I know that, when we do lunch on the cruise ship, you have different waiters because it's kind of you don't have your usual waiters you have in your rotation normally. I mean, you might run across them.
Right.
But it's just, you'll have different servers for lunch, and they're always very pleasant as well.
Absolutely. That's, your serving team for dinner doesn't just serve you dinner. They work other areas on the ship. You might find them up at the buffet, like in cabanas or beach blanket buffet. You might find them working in, Pluto's doghouse, serving chicken fingers. They might be on the breakfast rotation, lunch rotation, because these guys never get a day off.
Right. They're always doing something.
Because we asked, do you have like a certain day off? Because we weren't sure. Being our first Disney cruise, were there times when we weren't going to have them as our service team? And they said, oh, no, we work 7 days a week. We get hours off.
Yeah, they get a couple hours off at a time.
During the day. We were a little shocked about that there wasn't days off.
Because I know in Alaska, we came across our waiters on deck when we were at Tracy's Arm.
Yes.
They were wiping down tables, and they asked if they saw us. They asked us if they could get us some hot chocolate or some blankets.
Yeah. So, they work all the time. And, that's probably my plug for tip them well, because they certainly do deserve it. Because generally you don't tip the waiters who are serving you or the serving team who's serving you for breakfast and lunch. The tip that you're giving your serving team really covers all of their other duties, during the day as well, not just at. And if you break it down, the tipping's pretty cheap if you consider going out to dinner 3 times a day. So it just make sure that you do that. That's just my little thing for them. Treat them well, because they will treat you very well.
Now, some of the other cast members that you'll come across are when you go on the shore excursions.
Yes.
Normally, when you sign up for a shore excursion, your little ticket will have a time and a meeting place of where you're supposed to meet.
Yes.
Like you might meet in a certain lounge at a certain time, and when you get there, there's going to be a couple cast members organizing the tour.
Yes.
So one of your party will get in line, and they will tell you what you need to get.
Yes. Usually you'll get a sticker that has a colored character on it.
Like a name tag you put on your shirt.
Yep. One for every person in your party. Oftentimes, if you're taking an excursion, like our Titanic excursion, it was a very rainy day in Halifax. And so they brought out rain ponchos.
Yes.
And we assumed they brought them for sale. And actually, they were just passing them out.
Yep.
If you do a beach excursion, they will hand out towels for you. Any equipment that you may possibly need, they will make sure that you have it if it's included in the tour.
Yes.
So we talked about it before. A lot of the excursions that we do, you can do on your own.
Oh, absolutely.
And lots of people like that because it is significantly cheaper or somewhat cheaper to plan the excursion on your own and go off and do it on your own. We have always done the ship's excursions.
Yes.
And Disney included. It is a little bit more expensive, but we look at it this way. We're on vacation. I want zero stress when I'm on vacation.
Right.
I want someone to take care of me and to tell me where I need to be at what time. And once you get to where you're supposed to be, once everybody that is on that excursion has checked in, then the cast member will hold up a little sign that has your color and your character on it, and they will lead you off the ship. If it's a tendered place, they'll make sure you're all on the same tender boat.
Yep.
If it's just, you're docked, you just walk off the ship, and they'll take you right to where you need to be. If you're being transferred, by ferry to the location of your excursion, they'll make sure you're on the ferry. If it's a motor coach, they'll make sure that, you're on the motor coach,
yes.
Whatever it is, and they take care of it. And another reason I think we do the shore excursion sponsored by the ships is I don't have to worry if something happens on my excursion and I can't get back by the time the ship is ready to sail.
Right.
I don't have to worry about it.
That's the biggie.
They'll wait for me. And if it's 100% impossible for them to wait for this excursion to get back, they will arrange for you to catch up at the next port.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about that at all.
That'll be at their cost.
Absolutely. If you arrange for shore excursions on your own, which is fine. People do it every day and they have zero problems with it at all. They're able to usually.
There's that one.
But for the most part, they don't have any problems.
Right.
But I would just rather have somebody. I don't want to have to worry about when I get off the ship. Where am I supposed to go? Who am I supposed to meet? Am I going to make it back on time? What if the taxi I'm taking breaks down?
I was going to say, if the tour bus breaks down or gets a flat tire, all of a sudden you're panicking. What if we can't make it back in time?
And especially with the cruise we have coming up, Western Caribbean, that we don't have like really long times in any of the ports except for one. I think two
that
of
is
our
kind of
ports are
surprising
pretty
to me.
short times. I just don't want to have to worry about it. So we just go with what we like. And so far we've been able to get all the excursions that we wanted.
Yep.
We've never been shut out of one that we wanted. We've heard great things about private excursions and private tour companies, and that's great. But for us, I want somebody else doing the thinking for me on my trip.
That's right.
So even if it costs me a little bit more, I think it's well worth it, especially in the Caribbean. The Caribbean, the shore excursions are inexpensive to begin with.
Yeah, that was our biggest shock when we went to Alaska.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think the Alaska excursions were really, really expensive, and we were shocked.
We were shocked. We did them.
We did. Oh yeah.
And as we're on them, we're like, this is worth every penny.
Absolutely.
But they were still a lot of pennies.
They were a lot. Yes, that's for sure. But so these cast members, they fill a lot of shoes every day. They're just not hired to just be a youth counselor or just be
right.
Someone who's wiping off tables on the decks, or sweeping or whatever they're doing. They are certainly hired to do a lot of different jobs.
Yep.
So, and they do them well.
Yeah, they do. And a lot of the shore excursions are still contracted. Mm-hmm. So while the Disney cast members will hand you off to these people, they'll make sure you're back in time. Mm-hmm. But they do occasionally ask for tips, though, at the end of those shore excursions.
They do.
Just to be aware of. And if you feel like tipping, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, they certainly earn their money, too. We've had great tour guides.
Yes.
I can't really think of one that we had that wasn't that great.
I can't say we've had one that was terrible.
I don't think so. Mm-mm. I think they've all been really, really good. And there is a place, in the comment cards that you can leave your comments about the shore excursions or, because if it's not a good shore excursion, I'm sure Disney doesn't want to continue, contracting with that company. They want to offer excellent shore excursions.
Because Disney knows you're spending a lot of money for these tours. They want to make sure it's worth what you're spending.
Absolutely. So far, we think it has been worth it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
So I think that'll wrap up this edition of Cruising with the Scots on ResortLoop.com. If you have any questions on cruising, feel free to send us a message on our website, ResortLoop.com, or ResortLoop Tim on the Twitter. Or you can look up ResortLoop Bob on Twitter. He'll be glad to get your message.
I think we're going to maybe try to do another podcast pre-cruise before we go. So if there's any
Yes.
questions, we'll be happy to answer any questions, before we take our upcoming cruise. And then we'll do one after our cruise.
Yes, we'll have the pre-cruise, the post-cruise. I don't know, maybe we'll record something in the middle of the cruise. I don't know. We'll see how things go.
I don't know about that.
We've not taken the podcast on the road yet, so
Not yet.
that could be exciting for everybody. Anyway, I'm Tim Scott.
And I'm Don Scott.
And Bob Collar's not here, but if he was, he would say, see everybody.